Hello students, welcome to my channel Biosphere. Our today's class is about endocrine system. It is very interesting topic and the endocrine system is very important function in human body. So today I will explain about endocrine system. First of all, in our body there are many kinds of system just like circulatory system, nervous system, excretory system, reproductive system. Similarly, also endocrine system. Now what about endocrine system? Endocrine means endo means within our body. So the glands which are present within our body and those are ductlets generally, and when they secrete some liquids or hormone, it will come into blood directly. So that is the gland, that is endocrine gland. So there is also, except endocrine gland, there is also exocrine gland. So what are you thinking about it? Exocrine gland outside our body. So is there any gland outside our body? You can see in human body all glands are generally present inside our body. So exocrine glands, these are also present inside our body, but their secretion comes out from our body just like sweating, saliva. So these are some secretion coming out from our body by the help of exocrine gland. So exocrine gland means the glands which secrete some secretion and the secretion comes out from our body, that is exocrine gland. So these are sweat gland, salivary gland, and there are some glands which are present inside our body but their secretion will remain in our body. Just like when endocrine gland will secrete hormone, it will secrete it from endocrine gland and it will mix into the blood, and after sometimes after its function it will come out from our body, that is related to endocrine gland. In endocrine gland ducts are absent, but in exocrine gland ducts are present. So I will discuss about in our body there are many types of endocrine glands and generally they secrete hormone. Now what about hormone? Hormone means from each endocrine gland generally one liquid, one peptide or chemical nature, that is protein in nature or peptide liquid will come out, and as these are ductlets glands, so the liquid when it will come out, so it will mix directly into the blood. So that is hormone. So hormone means these are chemical messenger secreted from endocrine gland. When it will secrete, it will go towards a target organ and therefore it will work. After its work it will destroy, it will ultimately destroy after its work, that is hormone. So we have different kinds of endocrine gland in our body. Look at the structure. So here the endocrine glands are present. First of all, in the brain, the endocrine gland which is present, that is pituitary. The exact location not only in brain, you can say that hypothalamus of our brain, pituitary gland is present, that is endocrine gland. Next endocrine gland that is present here into our trachea, means front portion of our trachea under larynx, the endocrine gland that is thyroid gland is present. So the endocrine gland that is pituitary, therefore the endocrine gland which is present in our trachea, second to third layer of our trachea under larynx, that is thyroid. After that, after diaphragm, in stomach, inside the stomach or not inside, just beside the stomach there is the endocrine gland that is pancreas, another most important endocrine gland, that is pancreas. And one more thing, that is there are a few glands which acts both endocrine and exocrine glands. So just like testes, so these are also some glands which acts both endocrine and exocrine function. So these are pancreas, it is also acting here. Similarly, after pancreas, just above each kidney, there are two kidneys, so two adrenal glands are there. And therefore, look at the structure. If the body is female, if it is female, so therefore ovaries are present, and if it is male, then testes are present. So these are endocrine glands present in human body. Pituitary, they are for thyroid, they are for pancreas, they are for adrenal gland, they are for, if it is female body, they are for in ovary, and if it is male body, they are for in testes. So these are some endocrine glands in our body. There are also any other endocrine glands, but I will not discuss about it. I will discuss only few endocrine glands here, which is in your syllabus. So I am starting from thyroid gland, except pituitary, because pituitary I will explain last. Thyroid gland. You know, thyroid glands are present here, means in under larynx in our windpipe. Thyroid glands generally secreted thyroxine hormone. So thyroxine hormone secreted from thyroid gland, and the thyroxine hormone generally helpful in the formation of iodine, as well as it helps to increase our BMR. Sometimes also it very much essential to helps to increase our blood pressure. Sometimes it is also harmful. Body metabolism also increased by thyroxine hormone secreted from thyroid gland. Now from thyroid gland, any other hormone also secreted, just like calcitonin. So I will discuss only about thyroxine hormone. From thyroid gland, thyroxine hormone will secrete. Now if the thyroxine hormone will secrete more, means hyper secretion, and if low secretion means hypo secretion, what are the events will occur in human body? So that I will tell you now. Thyroid gland secrete thyroxine hormone. Hyposecretion of thyroxine hormone in human body leads to two diseases. One is cretinism, other one is myxedema. Cretinism occurs if hyposecretion of thyroxine in childhood, that is cretinism, and if hyposecretion in adulthood, that is myxedema. Now what is cretinism, what is myxedema? Due to these diseases, ultimately IQ level becomes very poor. Similarly, growth also retarded, as well as any other mental development also is very poor due to that disease. So these are disease related to hyposecretion of thyroxine. Next is hypersecretion of thyroxine. If hypersecretion of thyroxine occurs, so then there will be exophthalmic goiter. One more thing, that is also hyposecretion of thyroxine leads to goiter disease. Goiter means the thyroid gland will swollen and it will come out. Not come out, it will ultimately swollen. That's why it looks like that. It is simple goiter. That is the hyposecretion of thyroxine hormone. Just like cretinism, myxedema, simple goiter, also any other disease. And also deficiency of iodine, there will be also simple goiter. But hypersecretion of thyroxine leads to exophthalmic goiter. Exophthalmic goiter is not the simple goiter. Exophthalmic goiter means the eyes looks like Graves' disease, and it will become large, the eyeball become large, and it looks like that the eyeball is coming out from our body. But it will not happen, but it looks like that. So that is Graves, or that is the exophthalmic goiter which occur due to hypersecretion of thyroxine hormone. So that is related to thyroid gland. Next is pancreas. It is very much important because pancreas act both as duct gland or ductless gland. When it has duct, it helps to secrete pancreatic juice, and as ductless gland means as endocrine gland, function of pancreas is very much important because in pancreas there is islets of Langerhans. In pancreas there is islets of Langerhans, and in islets of Langerhans alpha cell and beta cells and gamma cells are present. So from islets of Langerhans, from alpha cell, glucagon hormone will secrete. From islets of Langerhans of alpha cell, glucagon hormone will secrete, and from islets of Langerhans of beta cell, insulin hormone will secrete. So from islets of Langerhans alpha cell, glucagon hormone will secrete. What is the function of glucagon? Generally, the function of glucagon is it helps to increase our body glucose level. You know, after taking any kinds of food, generally carbohydrate food, the simplest form of carbohydrate, that is glucose. So if you take any kinds of food, if it is carbohydrate or maybe protein or fat, ultimately it is converted into its simplest form, that is glucose. And if in our blood glucose are present, generally from the beta cells of insulin, insulin secreted from the beta cells of islets of Langerhans, beta cells of pancreas, insulin decreases the glucose level in our body. How? Because insulin helps to convert glucose into glycogen and it will store temporarily into our liver. So insulin helps to decrease blood sugar level. Similarly, glucagon helps to increase blood sugar level. So glucagon increasing the blood sugar level and insulin decreasing the blood sugar level. So the blood sugar level, which is normal blood sugar level, 120 mg per 100 ml blood, so it will remain constant. But what will occur if insulin will not secreted from beta? So from beta cell, islets of Langerhans, from beta cell, if in the proper way insulin will not secrete, so what will occur? There will be some problem. So blood glucose level will increase, because insulin helps to decrease the blood glucose level. But if insulin will not secrete from beta cell, so the blood glucose level will will increase, because glucagon helps to increase the blood sugar level and insulin is not working. So as a result, glucagon will increase the blood sugar level. So as a result, we will suffer the common disease, that is diabetes mellitus. So diabetes mellitus means in our blood glucose levels is very high. So that is the reason of diabetes mellitus. So insulin helps to decrease the blood sugar level, glucagon helps to increase the blood sugar level. From gamma cells of islets of Langerhans, somatostatin hormone will secrete. So these are function of insulin and glucagon, very much important, secreted from pancreas of islets of Langerhans. Next is adrenal gland. Adrenal gland present in the above or in the top of each kidney. So the adrenal gland, just like kidney, there are two different parts. One is cortex, other one is medulla. Similarly, in adrenal gland, there are also two different parts. One is adrenal cortex, other one is adrenal medulla. From adrenal cortex, corticoids hormone, just like mineralocorticoids, glucocorticoids, these are some hormones secreted from the adrenal cortex. Function of mineralocorticoids, it helps to increase or it helps to maintain sodium, potassium concentration in our body. Similarly, glucocorticoids, function of glucocorticoids helps to maintain metabolism in our body, glucose metabolism especially. And from adrenal medulla, adrenaline hormone is secreted. So from adrenal medulla, which hormone? That is adrenaline. You can say that is also emergency hormone, because adrenaline is secreted in our emergency condition. Just like when in our body some stress or fear or in some danger condition or some sorrow movement, we feel emotional. So from this condition, adrenaline hormone will secrete and it will transform you, it will make more emotional to you or more fear. So based on the emotional condition, it will ultimately secrete it and it will enhance to increase that condition. So that is known as emergency hormone. Sometimes we become angry, more angry. Why? Due to secretion of adrenaline hormone. So that's why it is known as emergency hormone. As in emergency situation, it will increase, it will secrete it and it will increase its concentration in blood. So it will give effects also. After adrenal gland, function of adrenal gland, there is also ovaries and testes. Already I told you in reproductive class, that is the very important, that is in ovary. Ovary present in female body, and it is primary female reproductive organ. So it helps to release ova from here. Also it helps in fertilization by the side of fallopian tube. And also from ovary, two main important hormone will secrete it. One is progesterone, other one is estrogen. Estrogen secreted from Graafian follicle, which is present into the ovary. Similarly, progesterone secreted from corpus luteum, which is also present into the ovary. Estrogen generally helps to maintain the female reproductive part as well as menstruation cycle. Similarly, progesterone is very much effective during pregnancy time or during fertilization. Similarly, also it will help to maintain the menstruation cycle. Next is testes. So testes present in male body, primary male reproductive organ, and from testes testosterone hormone will secrete. Function of testes, it helps to secrete testosterone hormone which contains sperm, which helps during copulation, which helps in fertilization. These are function related to testes. So now I will tell you that from adrenal gland, which hormone will secrete? Two hormones, adrenal gland, adrenaline, and corticoids, mineralocorticoids, glucocorticoids. Similarly, from ovary and testes, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. Now, the main important topic, that is pituitary gland. It is very much important in human body. Just like captain, pituitary act the role, the function of pituitary, it helps to maintain the function of any other endocrine glands, because from pituitary there are two different parts of pituitary. One is anterior lobe, other one is posterior lobe. So many hormones secreted from anterior lobe, and similarly from posterior lobe there are also 2 to 3 hormones will secreted. So pituitary helps to maintain the function of any other endocrine gland, that I will tell you. So that is pituitary. And pituitary, two different parts, one is anterior, other one is posterior lobe. So from anterior lobe, STH hormone means somatotropic hormone, GTH hormone means gonadotropic hormone, under GTH, LH means luteinizing hormone, and follicle stimulating hormone secretes FSH. You can say growth hormone also in somatotropic hormone. Similarly, ACTH secreted also from anterior pituitary, and from posterior pituitary ADH and oxytocin secretes. Now look at the structure here. From the anterior pituitary, what are the hormones secreting here? Somatotropic hormone. Somatotropic hormone or growth hormone, you know that it helps to increase our growth. Generally it releases, generally most of the hormones releases in our adolescence period, 13 to 19 years old, 19 years age. So somatotropic hormone or growth hormone helps to increase our growth and development of our bones, muscles, in our endoskeleton body. So it helps to growth and development in our body. Somatotropic hormone secreted from anterior pituitary. Similarly, if in our body hyposecretion of growth hormone, you know there will be the disease dwarfism, short height, and hypersecretion of growth hormone or somatotropic hormone, there will be the disease, that is gigantism, you know. Next is GTH, gonadotropic hormone. I told you that pituitary releases so many hormones and which regulates or which maintain the any other gland's function. Gonadotropic hormone released from pituitary, LH and FSH. LH means luteinizing hormone, FSH means follicle stimulating hormone. When the gonadotropic hormones are secreting from pituitary glands, it will act on gonads. Gonads means if it is male then testes, if it is female then ovary. So male gonads, testes, female gonads, ovary. So pituitary gland helps to secrete gonadotropic hormone. It will secrete it from pituitary gland. Gonadotropic hormone means LH or FSH, and it will come down into the ovary. If it is female, it will come down into the ovary and it will regulate the function of ovary. What is the function of ovary? It helps to release ova, as well as it helps to release progesterone and estrogen hormone. If the ovary is unable to release progesterone and estrogen hormone as well as ova, so it will regulate and it will stimulate, the gonadotropic hormone will stimulate the ovary to release that hormone. That is the function of gonadotropic hormone. Similarly, ACTH secreted from anterior pituitary. ACTH means adrenocorticotropic hormone. It is secreted from pituitary and it will act on adrenal gland, as it is the name, adrenocorticotropic hormone. Deficiency of that hormone leads to Cushing syndrome disease, and it will act on adrenal gland, because adrenal gland helps to secrete corticoids and adrenaline hormone. If it is not secreted in the proper way, it will stimulate the ACTH secreted from pituitary, it will stimulate to the adrenal gland to release corticoids and adrenaline hormone from here. So it will regulate the function of adrenal gland. And the last hormone from anterior pituitary, that is TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, secreted from pituitary, don't secreted from thyroid gland. Thyroxine secreted from thyroid gland. Thyroid stimulating hormone secreted from pituitary, but it will act on thyroid gland. Whether the thyroid is secreting calcitonin and thyroxine in proper way or not, it will regulate, and it will, if it will not secrete thyroxine in proper way, the TSH secreted from pituitary gland stimulate the secretion of thyroid gland. So these are some hormones secreted from anterior pituitary. Next is posterior pituitary. Mainly two hormones. One is ADH, antidiuretic hormone. Other one is oxytocin. The other name of ADH means antidiuretic hormone, that is secreted from posterior pituitary, that is vasopressin. The ADH helps to maintain the urine concentration, because what will be the amount of water in our urine maintained by ADH hormone secreted from posterior pituitary, other name of ADH, vasopressin. Sometimes we see that few patients suffering by diabetes disease. It is which kind of diabetes? It is diabetes insipidus, not diabetes mellitus. Diabetes mellitus due to hyposecretion of insulin. Diabetes insipidus due to hyposecretion of ADH. If any person suffer from diabetes insipidus, what will occur? So frequently urination will occur in their body. So due to ADH, because ADH helps to increase the water concentration into the urine. If ADH is not there, then the water will be dilute, so more water will, the urine will be dilute and more water will come out from their body. Next is oxytocin, very important, secreted from posterior pituitary. Oxytocin helps to maintain milk secretion from mammary gland after pregnancy. You know, after pregnancy, when the childbirth due to parturition period, it helps to secrete milk from mammary gland. Similarly, along with oxytocin, so also prolactin helpful to secrete milk from mammary gland. And another function of oxytocin, that is during parturition, means childbirth, what will occur? Contraction and relaxation of uterine wall will occur. So due to contraction and relaxation of uterine wall, childbirth, means in normal delivery, not in caesar delivery, in normal delivery, childbirth means parturition will occur. So on that time, oxytocin helps to maintain the contraction and relaxation of uterine wall for parturition. That is very important function of oxytocin. So student, pituitary is very much important. Why? It is secreting so many hormones from anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary, and generally most of the tropic hormones secreted from pituitary gland, and it will act on any other endocrine gland. Also it will maintain the activity or function of any other endocrine glands. If the endocrine glands are not secreting, so it will stimulate them to secrete their respective hormone. That's why pituitary known as master gland. So thank you students.